Okay, guys, let's get started. Um, let me share my screen. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so in our last class, right? The last week we discussed about the DML and all, right? We are going to continue. Already, like about the SQL and all, we discussed. Okay, so like what we discussed last week, right? In SQL query types, we have DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, DQL, and all, right? So priority wise, DQL is very, very important. When you say DQL, right? DQL is nothing but our usual select only, right? The select query, which is the one which we are going to heavily, what you can say, we are going to use, right? Which is select DQL. And then priority two wise, you can consider DDL and DML. Okay, DDL meaning data definition language. Already you all know, right? Like maybe create, drop, alter, right? Creating a database, creating a table, modifying table, removing a table, right? These are all the things which comes under DDL. And like last week, we discussed a lot of things about DDL and all, right? And then like a DML. Okay, so DDL, DML and all, you can consider priority two, right? Maybe the usage wise, if you consider, right? Like as a big data engineer, right? Mostly we are going to do with the DQLs only, more of, select with some kind of DML, DDL also we are going to use. Okay, so when it comes to the DML, which is data manipulation language, what is DML, guys? What and all we'll use in DML? Yes, in DML, what and all we'll use?
Insert, update, delete.
Yeah, insert, update, delete, right? So insert, update, delete, right? Insert, update, delete, which is comes under the DML. DQL is nothing but select. DCL and TCL and all fine, guys. You can ignore transaction control and data control language and all. DCL more of grand revoke about the permissions. Transaction control, whether you want to commit the changes, roll back the changes, right? Like save point the changes and all, which comes under the TCL, transaction control language. So the priority, low priority you can give for TCL and DCL and all. Okay, and like more priority is required DQL, which we are going to start today. Okay, and last week, maybe I will start my SQL services. What and all we discussed last week, right? Just quickly we'll go through the thing and then like we'll start, guys. Okay, so I'm going to start my MySQL service. So start, I went to the services.msc looking for MySQL 80, which is currently not running. I'm going to start it. Okay, I'm starting the service. Then we have to go to the workbench, right? Workbench is like a editor, a client software, which is going to connect the server, right? So I started the services. Searching for workbench. Okay, so any service you can use. Password will be root $123. We set it up for the SQL. Okay, so this is the notes we took last week and all, right? So this is what we discussed last week. So how to create the table, how to create the databases, we started from here, right? So more of DDL we started. and like a display available databases, you can run with the show databases. Okay, you run the show databases. In my current server, these many databases I have. Okay, so around maybe if you see the logs, right, you can able to see 17 databases I have. Okay, I'm using a show databases. Show databases or show schemas, both are same, right? Last week we discussed that. Then like I'm setting my current database, something like I'm setting the currently now no database is selected. I'm selecting the current database is learning, right? If you are selecting the database, meaning in your queries and all, you don't need to mention the database name, but as a best practice, always give the, whenever you are accessing any tables, right? You can always use your database name dot table name. Okay. So this is a use command we discussed. Show tables or show tables in a particular database, right? If you are running this one, which database currently you are in, you don't need to worry. Show tables in this particular database I'm running, right? Currently we have only one table. Okay. Then how to create the table? This is a database we create. How to create the database using the command create database. If not exist, database name. Okay, the if not exist is the kind of a safety condition. If the database is already exist, usually if you are running the create database command, it will throw error. In order to avoid the error, right, we are using the if not exist. Okay, so I'm running the statement. This time it is saying database is already exist. Cannot create the database. It is already exist since, but it is not throwing any error. You can see here the severity is warning. It is giving a warning. Okay, then we discussed about the data types and all very high level. Okay, so in SQL, particularly in commonly, I'm saying nothing related to the MySQL or any database, you can say commonly integer, which is holding the number, right? In Python, like we are mentioning int, right? The same thing only, integer here, which is holding the number. And like in Python, we are using string, right? str, which is like a alphanumeric or like with a special character and all, like what we have, right? So here in MySQL or any databases, usually we will go with the varchar. Okay, the modern databases supporting string as it is. Okay, maybe modern databases like BigQuery or like a Hive or Redshift and all. If you are going right, any modern databases like BigQuery, MySQL and all. If you Hive and all, if you are going right, we have a data type called a string as it is. Okay, so but our MySQL kind of a traditional databases, what we have for holding the string and all, we have a data type called varchar and text. Okay, like that, like we have data type. So varchar, you have to mention the size also. Okay, so varchar of 50 meaning, which is allowing 50 characters, right? 50 digit. Okay, or 50 character it is allowing. Okay, so the varchar of size you have to mention. Okay, so integer, and like when it comes to the integer, you have byte. We have a tiny int, right? Integer, sorry, byte, tiny int, integer, big int, like that, like various types we have. We will discuss later, but in commonly we will use integer. Okay, then like a varchar or char we will use for holding the string kind of data type, right? When you say varchar, right, we have to mention the size, and character also you have to mention the size. We have one difference between varchar and char. Last week I explained, right? This is one traditional entry questions people are asking. What is the difference between char and varchar? What is the difference, guys? Guys, what is the difference?
Occupying size. The varchar occupy the size based on the record values.
Correct. Okay. Variable in size, varchar is. What about character? Character size is fixed, right? Character size is fixed. Character of 10 meaning always 10. You are giving a single value or like a single character or multiple like a 10 character, doesn't matter. Always it is using 10 character. It is occupying the character of 10 meaning every value it is taking 10 character, the size internally, right? That is a character. This is variable in size. This will be fixed for everything. That is the main difference between char and varchar. Okay. So
can you show me with the example that's varchar and character, the difference?
we are going to, no worries. Okay. So varchar and a character, right? So like maybe if you're creating a table, sometimes this ID and all will not show anything, but I will create and show you. No worries. Okay. So varchar of size, if you are mentioning, meaning like you are creating a varchar of 50, but you are giving a name as test, meaning only 4 character. It is occupying only size of 4 character size only. But the same thing, character of 100 if you are declaring, and if you are inserting same test, right, it is occupying whole 100 character, right? That is a difference varchar between char. We have text also. When you have a huge volume of maybe a very big text, if you are storing in the database, right, we'll use text, leave the size and all, later we'll discuss. And like we have a data type called date we have in MySQL or most of the databases, the date default format YYY-MM format. Okay, that is also we discussed. Timestamp format, you can include the timestamp also, hour, minute, second. In between you put a colon along with your date. Timestamp also you can include date space hour colon minute colon second. Some databases will include the like what you can say milliseconds or microseconds, sub-seconds also, right? Hour, minute, second, dot triple S they will put it. Okay, some database MySQL will up to second it is taking. Decimal, right? Floating number, decimal and all, we have a decimal, float, double and all, we have a data type. Okay, leave it for now. Boolean meaning true or false. These are all the things on a very high level we discussed. We didn't go further on the data type. Okay, we'll discuss later. And then like we created the database. How to create the table as part of DDL, creating a database, dropping a database, right? That is part of the DDL only that we did already. Then we created the table, whatever the database we created, right? Inside the database, we are creating a table. Something for creating a table, the syntax is create table. That is a keyword, reserve word. Okay, and table name, the name you have to give. Your user defined table name, then column name, data type you have to give, right? That is a minimum like you have to give, right? Apart from that, you can able to mention whether any constraint. Okay, so you are creating a table, the constraints meaning whether the column accepting null or not null constraint, primary key columns, not null or default value, something and all you want to set, right? You can able to mention column, data type and your constraints. Constraint is optional. Okay, so we created a table called EMP, employee ID. We are not mentioning any constraints here. Just we are creating a table with the following the data type. Employee ID is an integer data type. E-name is varchar of 50. Gender is character of 1. Date of birth is date. Like that, the table we created here also we are using if not exist. Okay, so last week we discussed, right? Currently in which database you want to check, right? I'm running the select database command. It is saying null since we didn't choose any database and all. So what you have to do? Use the database name you have to give. What's the database name, guys? We created, right? WD37 WE48 DB. Okay, that is a database we created last week, right? I'm going to say use this database. Okay, then like I'm selecting this one, I'm running the query. Okay, so database is selected. Now select database if you are running, which database you are in, it is showing. Okay, this is fine. Okay, now we created a table also last week. Since I'm using if not exist, I can able to run, no issues, right? Table is already existed is saying show tables in this current database, whatever we created, only one table what we created last week. And like you want to see the table structure, describe table name. Okay, so describe command, you can put some databases supporting DESC, simply DESC, your table name in short form. Instead of writing a describe command, right, you can able to give DESC also, right? But MySQL will not, MySQL also supporting. Okay, so it is showing error here, but fine, it is working, right? Describe or DESC, anything you can able to write. Okay, so describe also returning the same result, or you can use DESC also, short form, describe. Okay, I'm writing this one. It is saying this is my current schema. The table what we created, right? You can see here, employee ID integer, e-name varchar of 50, gender character of 1, date of birth date, okay, city varchar. All my fields are accepting null, right? Default it is saying null, null yes meaning accepting null. Okay, it is all or nothing, No key I specified, no primary key, no unique key, right? Nothing, the keys and all we didn't specify. And we don't need to, like, the key part, right? We will discuss, I will explain. Okay. But the thing is like, which is not required when it comes to the modern data warehouses and all. Okay. So we will not use the constraints and all. Constraints, index, right? These are all the things are not available in your, most of the modern data warehouses will not support. Okay. But anyway, well, just I will give a high level picture of the constraints columns. Okay. So currently we didn't mention any constraints like a primary key, unique key, nothing I mentioned. So all are normal column only, accepting a null, default is null. Okay, which meaning either you are giving or not values to the column, right? With null also you can able to insert. That is the meaning of this one. Null also you can able to insert. If you're not giving also, default will be null, right? Like that, like, the table we created, and like I'm viewing the structure also. These are all the things what we discussed last week, guys. Then I'm selecting the table by running this query, right? These many columns we inserted. How we inserted, right? We are performing a minimal of DMLs, right? We started in between DML. Okay, the DML insert into the table, right? This is the maybe a data loading strategy we starting, right? Insert into the table the values, right? Insert into the table values. If you are giving, right, you have to give values for all the columns in the same order. So first value is employee ID, second value is employee name, third value is gender, date of birth. Okay, city later we added. Okay, you remember? If I run this query, this will throw error now. Okay, I'm running this query. It is throwing error. Okay, insert into this table, right? Column count does not match with the value count at row 1, right? This is a error it is throwing. Earlier it is working because the city column we added last week, I mean, at the end, right? That is why it is earlier it is working. Now it is not working because, like, city column, I'm not giving it here. Okay, maybe I'm giving a value of 500. Okay, I'm giving city as Bangalore, not with double quotes, single quotes, Bangalore. Okay, in SQL, string and all you have to mention with the single quotes. Now I'm executing the query. No error, the data got inserted. You want to view the record, whatever we inserted now, right? ID column, I'm giving a 500, right? 500 Rajkumar, city Bangalore. Like that, like the insert query we are executing here. Okay, so how we are executing the insert query? Insert into the table values. Then I'm giving the values for all the columns. But only few columns I want to give, right? Insert into table. The column you have to select. Employee ID, employee name, gender. Only this value alone I'm giving. Okay, 502. Okay, so you are saying Ajay, male, right? Only this 3 value I'm giving. Now I'm executing the query. It is successfully completed. I'm executing the select query again. And like Ajay record, employee ID, e-name, gender, but remaining columns and all null. Date of birth and genders are null. How I did? Insert into the table name, selected columns values. That is a syntax. Insert into directly table values. If you are giving all columns value, you have to give. Here I'm selecting the column. Only this 3 column value I'm giving. Right here, this query is running without any issue because all my columns are accepting null. Okay, so syntactically the query is correct. It is executing and returning the result. Here, 2 things it will do. One is like syntax checks here, right? 3 columns, 3 value you are giving, that is fine. And like the remaining 2 columns, whatever I'm not giving, right? They are accepting a null. Okay, if they are not accepting null, then it will throw error. For our case, right, I'm not mentioning any not null constraint and all. So it is accepting a null. I can able to insert the record. Okay, these are all the things we discussed last week, guys. Any question? And for understanding the constraint, not null, right? Maybe department table, one more table I'm creating here. Okay, table got created, right? Create table, not null, I created, right? I'm inserting one record. I'm giving all the values to the table. It is working without any issue, right? Now I'm going to give department values, right? Department only DID I'm going to give. DID values I'm giving 2. This is syntactically correct. You guys can agree? Yes. This query is syntactically correct or not? I'm inserting only one record. Sorry, only one column. D name I'm not going to give. One column, DID value I'm giving. Right? I'm trying to insert now. Okay, it is saying D name does not have a default value, which meaning it will not accept null, basically. Right? So you put a describe department. Okay, you want to see that column definition. DID integer accepting null, D name it will not accepting null, no, and default value also null. So you are not giving meaning it is taking the default value. If you're not giving the value, it will take the default value, it won't work. Right? Same thing. All value you can give. Okay. So 2 comma ECE I'm giving. I'm trying to run. Okay. I mean all value I'm giving, right? So now it is successfully inserted. I'm going to give 3 null, right? 3 null I'm giving. Okay, this time column D name cannot be null. Yes, you all are getting right. Where I'm setting not null. While creating the table, I'm setting D name column is a not null. This is a not null constraint what we set it up. Okay, like that as DDL, DML and all we discussed last week. Right now, if you query the table, only 2 records alone we can able to see in the department table. Okay, so this is a departmental table, right? I'm running the query. 1 is CSE, 2 EC alone we have. Okay, then like a few column addition and all how we can able to city column we added alter table, right? Create table for creating the table. Alter table meaning you are changing the structure of the table. I'm adding a column. Alter table, EMP, add column, data type, right? Like that in the EMP table we added a column. Okay, you want to rename the table, alter table department, rename to department. Like that I'm renaming the table. Earlier it is a DEPD, right? You want to rename the table, you can able to rename. Rarely we'll use this one, right? And then like a column rename, alter table department, rename column, old column name, new column name. Okay, like that a few things and all we discussed guys last week. Any questions so far? This is what we executed last week, DDL, DML and all. Okay, so then like for removing a data, DDL part of you, right? We have a truncate option. So truncate meaning it is part of the DDL, removing all the record and keeping the table structure, right? Let's say department table. Before truncate, let me query the department table, or let me rename the department table first. Okay, I rename the department. Before truncate, let me run this query. We have 2 records, right? We are able to see the records. Okay, I'm going to truncate the table. Truncate meaning delete all the records and you are keeping the structure. Okay, it is done. Truncate is done. Immediately it is completed. Now I'm running the same query again. Select star from department. You have the structure. DAD, name still we have, but we don't have any record. So what truncate is doing, remove all the record. Okay, remove all data and keep the table structure. Truncate is the DDL and like a remove all records in a table. Right? Only it is removing the table entire record and keeping the table structure as it is. That is a truncate. Any question, guys? And one more DDL we have drop, right? That also we discussed last week, right? Drop, which is a DDL, remove both table and structure. If you are removing both table and structure, meaning what? When I run the truncate, all my 2 records is gone, but still the table is available. Okay, still the table is available. When I do the drop, okay, before drop, maybe let's insert a few records. Okay, I think our table name is department, right? Not DEPT, since we renamed the department. I'm inserting one record. Now run the query. We have 3 civil. Okay, now I'm going to run a drop statement. What drop will do? Yes, what drop will do?
It will drop the
Delete the
entire structure on
entire
the table.
table structure.
Both data and the structure, everything will be removed, right? So drop table, if exists department, like that it is running. Now I'm trying to query the table, select star from department. It is throwing error, table not found error, right? What is the difference between truncate and drop then?
Truncate delete only the record and the drop deletes the entire table structure.
Yeah,
as
right.
well as the record.
Both are DDLs, right? Similarity, both are DDLs. And like a drop, completely removing both structure and data, right? Entire the table as well as the data it is removing. For truncate, only removing the data, not the table. Table structure remains same. Okay, that is a difference, guys. That is also an entry question. And like the entry question, one more question they will ask: delete. Delete is not a DDL; it is a DML manipulation, right? When you are doing a delete, right, you can able to remove a particular record. You can able to apply a var filter, right? Only few records you can able to delete. Entire table also, I mean entire record also you can able to delete, but still you have option to remove few records. Only I am going to delete the customer who is belongs to Chennai, right? I have a table called customer. There we have a column called city. I'm going to remove the records remove the customer who belongs to Chennai. Only Chennai record I'm going to remove, right? Like that you can able to apply a condition. Only few records you can able to delete. Where truncate, no option, remove everything, all the customer. In the customer table, entire record I'm removing. Drop meaning table also you are removing. Where delete support condition, which we are going to see. That is the difference between delete, drop versus truncate. Okay, so while answering the question, right, you have to start with the type also. Truncate and drop both are real, but delete is the DML. Okay, and like delete, we can able to conditionally you can able to delete. Only few records you can able to delete. Where truncate, drop, you don't have option. Truncate will remove all the record and keep the table structure. Where drop will remove both data and structure. This is the difference, guys. Apart from like you can able to delete the record and you can able to remove. If it is under the transaction, we can able to like roll back it. Where truncate and drop you cannot able to do. Some other things and all we can able to add in the result. I mean in the differences. And like a truncate and drop, right? They will reset your auto increment column and all if you have. Where I mean drop you are removing a table, leave it. Truncate will reset your auto increment column and all. Where delete it will not touch your auto increment. Like that you can able to add additional detail and all. But main difference is delete you can able to do the conditionally, right? Like I mentioned, right? Customers belongs to Chennai alone you can able to delete, right? Or everything you can able to delete. Where truncate you have no choice, no filter. It will remove all record. Okay. Where drop removing the table also. So you are not going to keep anything. Okay. Any question, guys? This is what we discussed last week. Okay, let's proceed further, guys. Okay, so we created a table, right? A DDL part, DML. Also, some of the DML part we included here, right? What are the DML so far we discussed? Insert and delete. Maybe we will continue on the DML side. Then we will go for our ultimate DEQL, right? In DDL, still we have something and all. Okay, we'll do later, maybe in the next class, right? Probably next week we will complete our SQL learning. Okay. If anything is pending, we'll extend one more week, one more class. But hopefully, like we'll close our next week the basic of SQLs and all, guys. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, also the advanced SQLs, right? In our regular class itself, we can cover. Okay, these are all the important things we required before getting to the any database and all, right? These are all the things which is required, right? So the basics, foundation and all we are covering here. So the DML, we have insert, delete, right? And what else, guys? Update. Okay, let's take the So let's take the EMP table itself. Okay, this is our record. Now I want to insert one record. How we can able to insert the case? Yes, how we can able to insert?
Using insert command.
Insert into table name.
Insert into
Table name.
Table name.
EMP values. When you say values, meaning if you're not mentioning any columns, right? If you're not mentioning any column, all the columns value you have to give, right? Insert into EMP values. You can say ID will be 503. Okay. And like a name will be employee name. You can give anything. Okay. Jaya. Okay. Gender will be female. Right. Date of birth, you can give 1987. 02 something you can give, and city will be Chennai. Okay, what I missed? Date of birth, single quotes is missed. Here you guys can see I'm giving a this value, right? One record alone we are inserting. This is one record we are inserting with the insert into command. Okay, I'm selecting, I'm running the statement. Data got inserted, right? Now let me query the table and you can able to see Jaya record got inserted properly, right? This is normal insert query for all the columns, right? Insert with all the column. Earlier also we did the same, but here formally we are learning. Insert with the all columns. All column value we are giving. For specified column, what we can give, guys? Employee ID.
Explicitly mention the field names.
Yeah, employee ID, employee name alone I'm giving. Remaining and all nullable. Okay, so all are accepting null. Only this two value I'm going to give. 504. Okay, I'm going to say Peter, right? So only two value. I mean, employee ID, employee name I'm giving. Gender and all is this case not giving. Since like by my design it is accepting null accepted by all the columns. So Peter record also inserted here. Peter 504. Remaining all are null. Okay, guys, you all with me? Maybe multi insert. One more record. Now, selected, insert with the selected columns. Okay, in one shot I'm going to insert multiple record. Okay, insert in the EMP value 505. Okay, Sadish. Okay, remaining and all fine. Okay, one more row I'm going to insert. In one shot I'm going to insert 2 or 3 records. Okay, I'm giving a comma. This is also a normal syntax only. Okay, so here 505 Sadish, 506. Okay, I'm giving Dev 2026. You can give 507. Okay, you can say Anil. Now I'm inserting in one shot 3 records. Right? Comma. This is also we can able to write, right? All possibility I'm showing guys. That's all. Okay, now you can see your table got inserted with the 3 record, right? Last 3 record you can see Anil, Dev, Sadish, all this record. This is also possible. But insert into values if you are giving, right? You are giving a value directly. Okay, we are going to extend this further. Okay, further we are going to extend later. output from the other table we are going to load. Something and all we are going to do, but fine. Normal insert we will do this way. Any question? In one shot, I'm writing 3 records. Three records I'm inserting. Okay, the insert, that's all guys, insert, right? And this, whether which this inserts and all are we going to do? Very rarely you are going to do. Ours is as a data engineer, right? What and all you are going to do, right? More of insert select, right? What is insert select? I'm selecting something, that output I'm going to load it into the table, right? I'm going to perform C task, right? I'm going to create a table from the output of my query, right? These are all the main things we are going to see. This is important. Whatever I'm listing, whatever I'm mentioning here, this is important. The other one for your understanding, right? Rarely will 1 record, 2 record and all rarely will insert. Insert select is important, right? Like a C task query is important. Okay, so what is insert select and all we'll see later. Later we'll discuss. Okay, fine. Later meeting today we are going to cover everything. Okay, so I inserted few record and all. Maybe as part of the DML, let's start with the update. Most of the modern, I mean, data warehouses usually will not do the update, but nowadays like data warehouses also supporting updates, update queries also they are supporting. Okay, so update. What is the syntax? Syntax update, right? Update. That is the first thing you have to go give. Update table employee, right? First, let me query the table what we have. Update meaning what, guys? The table already we have a data, something we are going to change, right? Update employee. Maybe for Peter, I'm going to set the date of birth. Peter, right? Peter record. We don't have a gender column, right? I'm going to update the gender for Peter. Update EMP. Okay, syntax is update your table name. Set which column you are going to set? Gender. Okay, gender equal to, you have to mention male, right? Update employee, set column name equal to value, the new value you are giving, right? To whom? Where employee ID equal to 504. This is the update, guys. Update syntax is update table name, set is the keyword, column, new value, column new value, column new value. What else, guys? Comma, column 2, maybe multiple columns if you are updating, right? Value 2. Okay, then where condition, your filter condition. This is optional. Where filter condition is optional. Okay, if you are not giving where class meaning, what will happen, guys? If you're running the query without where class, what will happen?
It will throw an
all the
error.
columns to M.
Yes, right. It is not throwing error. First thing, not all the columns, all the rows, gender will be M.
Gender
For all the rows, gender will be M, right? So I'm executing the statement. It is done. I'm putting a proper filter here, 504. Okay, 504. What happened? You are using safe update mode and you are trying to, okay, the safe update we have to set up here. Okay, 1 minute, guys, give a minute. I mean, this is my ID is blocking here. Okay, you remember something like we set a safe update, some settings and all, right? You don't need to worry about that, the safe update thing here. Okay, but here the MySQL workbench is blocking this. Okay, let me put that one. 1 minute, guys, give a minute. I put the setting somewhere else. Anyone have the safe update? I mean, the set command. Let me give a minute. I mean, syntactically, this is correct. Okay. So what it is saying, right? Okay. So you are using safe update mode and you are trying to update the table without a var, right? Without a var uses a key column. Okay. So var that uses a key column to disable the safe update, like you can go to the preferences, something and all it is saying, right? It is like, we set up some setting here. Okay. So like I'm going to say set some command on my case. Let me get the command. We put the command. Okay, set SQL safe update. You have to disable. Okay, this one, since like this is nothing to do with my for all databases. This is particularly for MySQL, and like this is environment settings. Okay, I set up the environment like in an environment like what you can say, like without a key column and all. If something is updating, you can restrict it like that. I'm saying. So I'm disabling now. Set a SQL safe update equal to 0. Okay, I'm executing this one. Okay, it is completed. Let me run the update command again. Okay, now you can see update query is completed, right? Syntax wise, this is correct only. The update query is correct only, but we put some restriction. Our MySQL installation, right? Default, the workbench is put some restriction and all. So I'm disable the setting. Safe update, right? You don't need to check anything. Update it blindly, like that I'm saying. Okay, so update EMP where gender equal to M 504. Earlier for this guy 504 record, right? We don't have a gender column. Now we are adding it, right? Let's say querying the table. Now you can see where is 504. Peter, which is saying male, right? Peter, which is saying male. That is what we are updating. Okay. So this is a syntax size. Update table name, set column name equal to value. Then where condition. If you are not giving a where condition, meaning you have to careful about update and all, guys. Okay. So I'm going to say that is why like the safe update option and all we enabled, right? So update EMP set city equal to Chennai. City equal to Chennai I'm giving. Okay. I'm not writing where condition here. What will happen?
Rows with city updated to Chennai.
Yeah, all the record in the table, right? How many records you have? All the record, right? Almost like how many records you have? 14 records you have. Okay. All this 14 record, right? Which is going to update with the Chennai. You can see, right? Mixed of city you have Chennai, Beach, Bangalore, and null and all you have, right? Now you can see I'm running this query, right? It is done. Okay. Update EMP set city equal to Chennai. 9 rows affected. It is saying basically 14, right? 14 record. It is changing. Okay. So if you query the table, already you all know city will be all are Chennai only. You can see the column city for all the record Chennai only. Since I'm not applying a where filter here, you apply for all the rows in the table, right? The update you have to use carefully, and like multiple column you can able to update. Gender, date of birth also for this guy you can update for this 504. Date of birth equal to, you can say 2000. Okay. 01. 01. Right. For this record, I'm updating two values, gender and date of birth. Both I'm updating. Okay. So I'm executing the statement. Our city also I'm going to update. Comma. City equal to Bangalore. Okay. Like that I'm going to update. Okay. It is done. Now you can query the table. 504. Peter. Date of birth Bangalore. Okay. This is the update. Yeah. Any question, guys?
The SQL safe update, it's needed for all time or don't need actually? That if
You don't
SQL
need.
is
I mean, yeah,
for
this is
update,
only for this workbench. Okay, this workbench, like this MySQL workbench alone, it is blocking your update statement, right? So we are executing here. Not for all the databases, you don't need when you are running with updates. Right? This is kind of an environment setting what we set up for this MySQL server. And like maybe if you are working on the same MySQL server here, right? Like when you are doing, right, you have to set this. First one time you have to, this is a session based. If you close the session and if you open again, right, it will block again. So you have to
Okay.
disable it. Okay, but what I'm saying, this is like, not for all the databases, only for this MySQL on my system, we are blocking, right? So
Okay.
for
Only
all
for
other
update, right?
databases, correct, only for update, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't need for other databases and all. One time you are setting permanently also we can able to set up, right? But we don't want to spend the time for setting this and all, right? Permanently. So leave it for now, this one. Okay, but yeah, answer to your question, right? It is a session based setting. If you open the session again, close the session meaning, again it will block. So you have to execute this. Okay, I will put this into our regular chart itself. Okay, maybe you guys can keep it, but you don't need to remember also. 0 meaning I'm
Can we
disabling.
undo, like by mistake if we update the record, can we undo that one?
That is your TCL, transaction control language. Here everything is auto commit. We set it up, but you can do with the begin transaction. You put it into under the transaction, you can able to roll back. Okay, so that is fair. What you are saying, right? TCL, which is under the TCL, transaction control language, where you have commit and rollback. So if currently the screen what I'm doing right here, everything is auto committed, right? So you cannot roll back now, but you want to do that one, right? You have to do play safely, right? You have to begin a transaction and you can do the update. Then finally you can commit it. If any changes happen, right, you can able to roll back. Okay, that we are going to see in the transaction control. It is possible,
okay.
not for here. You are getting right.
Okay. Yeah,
It is
got it.
possible. But currently we put everything as auto commit here. I'm not controlling the the transaction. That is where the transaction control language TCL commit rollback. Okay, so maybe if you see here, okay, so the transaction control what you have, right? Set auto commit equal to 0. I have to disable it. Currently I'm setting as everything is auto commit, right? So I'm disabling that property. Start the transaction, I'm inserting. Then commit meaning you are committing, or rollback meaning you are rolling back. By mistake I did. So I'm rolling back. Like that, like under the transaction you can able to do, but current setting, what currently we have, right? Everything is auto commit. Okay, we'll discuss.
Yeah,
No worries
okay.
later.
Yeah.
Okay. Any question you guys can put it in the everyone guys. Like I mean, don't put a personal chat. If you put everyone, like I will get it, guys. Okay. If you want to create a one more column, like example salary in some table means, can we do it now? Right? That is an alter column. Okay. So you want to add a new column. That's what you're asking, right? Which is here, right? Alter table, adding a column. Okay. So alter table, where we sit. We did for city, right? So same thing. You want to add a new column called salary. Or I will write it. Okay, alter table, add column name, this one. You want to add a city? Sorry, salary is the column, right? You are asking for salary. Let me put a. What is the difference between this and update, guys? Alter and update. Alter table EMP, add salary is the column, which is in the integer type. This is what you're asking, right? Integer, I'm saying. What is the difference between update and this alter?
So update is like we are updating the column for the existing table, and this one is like we are inserting a new column in the table.
Yeah, adding a new column.
Adding
Correct,
new column.
right? Any other things, guys? That is true. Whatever you are saying, true.
The DDL,
Anything?
that is DML.
Exactly right. Alter table is a DDL. Update is a DML, right? And alter table, you are modifying the table structure, right? You are playing with the structure. Where update is, you are playing with the data. Got it, right? Okay. So now I'm going to add a column called salary into the table. Okay. How we can able to do, guys? Alter table, table name, add column, data type. Who asked? Guys, you are getting right? Amanita, you are getting it right? How to add a column? Okay. So now maybe I will extend. Earlier also we discussed adding a column city, right? Alter table. Okay, alter table, table name, adding a column salary. If I run this one, what will happen, guys? What about the existing record? What about the existing record, guys? I mean, you are
The
adding a
null
new column now,
value.
right?
Null will be
Yeah,
assigned to that.
exactly right. It will populate as a null, but I don't want the null, right? I want to put some default value, right? So I'm going to say alter table EMP, add salary column, which is integer. Default, you put for all of them. Okay, I'm putting a value as 0. Right? I'm setting the default value, which is 0. Or like if you don't like 0, right? Maybe I will change this to maybe 10,000. Okay, 10,000 is my default salary, right? I'm running this one. Let's see what happened. Okay, it is completed. Okay, let's go and check our EMP table. You guys can see salary new column is added with a salary of 10,000 existing for all rows exist. I mean, if you're not, it is optional. Default is optional. You don't need to give, right? Earlier already we discussed about the alter table, right? So for better understanding, I'm extending. Default value I'm setting. So all the existing rows populating with the salary of 10,000. Adding a new column called the salary and the value defaulted to 10,000, right? And how to check the structure now? Describe EMP. Describe EMP, right? Now you can see the salary column, whatever you added, salary integer null accepting and default value is 10,000. If you're not giving, default will be 1,000. This you all are getting it right? Alter table. And the difference between alter and update, alter is you are modifying the table structure, which is DDL. Update is a data operation. It's a data manipulation, data operation. Okay. You are playing with the data, you are playing with the structure here. That is the main difference. DDL, DML. Okay. So update, right? And update, when you are working with update, you have to careful on the where class, right? So based on the condition, it will update the value, and multiple column also you can able to update. And maybe we'll extend further update and all, but quickly we'll go to the other thing. Insert update, what is pending? Delete. Delete also a DML, already we discussed, right? Now I want to delete a record. The difference between delete and truncate, right? Truncate meaning everything, right? All data. I mean, not everything, all data you can say. And keeping the table and remove all data, that is truncate, right? Delete meaning I can still keep the, I mean, I can able to pick the record, I can able to remove. Okay, I'm going to remove. Okay, I'm going to remove the record. Maybe this Peter record, right? So I'm going to remove the record, this Peter. Peter is ID 504, right? I'm going to delete it. Syntax is delete from, right? Delete from, you have to give
Table
table
name
emp, right? Delete from a table name
where EAD is equal to
where
504.
employee ID equal to EAD equal to 504. Okay, here also you have to play safely, right? If you are without where class, if you are running a table mini, it is similar to a truncate, almost similar to truncate. You are removing all record, right? So it will filter the record. Now we are picking the record and we are deleting only Peter, right? Earlier we have 14 records, right? Now I'm executing this guy. Now one record is removed, right? Now you can see, okay, it is returning only 13 record and 504 is removed, right? The Peter record we removed. That's all guys, delete. Right, delete without where class will remove all record. Okay, so when you say delete meaning, syntax is delete from table name, then where filter class. Okay, delete query without where will remove all records. Okay, delete meaning conditionally you can able to delete. Truncate meaning all record you are removing. Drop meaning both structure and the table you are removing. That is the difference. Okay, any question guys? DDL, DML so far? TCL data control language and all, leave it for now. Let's go to the our DQL. Directly we will get into the DQL. Okay, if you all are good so far. Now you have an idea, right? How to create the table, how to insert the record and all, and how to modify the record.
Yeah.
Okay, so quickly we will go to the data query language, which is DQL. Okay, so maybe, right? What I can do, right? I will open a new script, new SQL script. Okay, just I'm going to create a table since I need data. Okay, maybe you guys can explain whatever I'm doing here. What I'm doing is here.
So if table
You're
exists,
creating the table if it does not exist.
Yeah, we are
And
creating a
setting up
table.
a field name with a data type.
Okay, so use WD37 WE48 DB, right? Let me select the database also. Okay, database selected. Then if the table student is exist, I'm removing. Okay, it is not there. Then I'm selecting the creating the table. You all agree, right? First name is varchar 50, last name is varchar 50, date of birth is date, department is varchar 50. Like that, I'm table creating simply. Table got created, right? You all know this, what we did. Now I need a record to play, right? I mean, record by record, if I'm start inserting, right, that will be a big task for me. So I already generated some, 500 records maybe. Okay, I'm going to run all the 500 record now. Okay, but you guys can explain me what I'm doing. The script I will share you. What I'm doing, guys.
Just inserting the records.
Inserting the records.
Right, inserting the record into the table what we created, student table, right? I'm selecting everything. I'm running this. Okay, you guys can see, start inserting all 500 record. Right, I need data to play, right? For that, I'm just populating some table. Table got generated, right? Now let's go back to our SQL nodes. Okay, this script I will share it with you guys. Okay, no worries. Right? So the table got we created. just for your understanding, few records alone I will add here. But I will give you the scripts separately. You guys can like run this. And like by mistake, if you drop the table, right, it will drop our entire record. Since we need a record, right? Let me put a command line here. Okay. So let's go on to query the table student. Now slowly we are entering into the DQL, data query language, which is nothing but select, the select query. Okay. Let's start with the simple select. You all know already. We are playing something, right? What guys? I want to select everything, all the rows, all the columns.
Select star from table.
Star from table name, right? So you can say all the rows, all the columns you are selecting. Star meaning all columns. Okay. So all 500 record, all 6 column, right? 3, 4, 5 columns. Right? I'm selecting starting from student ID 1, right? SID, a first name, last name, date of birth, department, right? And like a all 500 record we are selecting. Okay, that is the select query what we have, guys. Now I'm going to say, maybe let's go by our document, or else I may miss something. 1 minute. Okay, so select the DQL we are entering, select single, okay, single, multiple column, alias. All column already covered. How to select all the columns? What you have to use?
Star.
Star, right? Now I want to select only particular column, single column. So
Call
single
out the
column
field
meaning,
names.
yeah. So you can give select a
Column name.
few columns. Okay. Instead of star, select from student. Here you have to give what is the column name, guys? Columns and all not coming. Fine. What are the columns we have? Student ID or SID? I forgot. SID, right?
That action insert ID is
First
there,
name,
no?
last
That
name.
one.
Yeah, SID. Maybe first name. 2 columns I'm selecting. Student ID, SID and first name I'm selecting. Only 2 columns, right? I'm selecting only 2 columns. SID and first name, all the records, but only 2 columns, right? Here select all records and with the 2 columns, only 2 columns. With only 2 columns. I'm not referring star. Okay. SID, comma, first name. Right? Only these two columns I'm selecting, guys. Any question? Right? Now you can see I'm not selecting everything, right? Only selecting like SID and first name. Only 2 columns. Last name, date of birth, department name and all I'm not selecting. Okay. So selected column, single column, or select SID alone. Right? SID alone, I'm going to select. Now you can see only 1 column. We have only 1 column. We selected only 1 column. All 500 record. Right? You can see 1 to 500. Right? Like that, you can able to select a few columns instead of star. Star meaning all the columns. Okay, as a best practice, you guys can go by the column names, not by star. Okay. So selecting single column, multiple column, and alias. Okay, so here SID, right? I didn't like the SID column. It is returning the result set, right? In the result set, maybe SID first name to column if you take, right? SID is fine. First name, I don't want the first name. I want the column name as name, right? So we can say we can able to rename not permanently, only for this select query. You are renaming the column, meaning the table itself I want to rename. How we can able to do this?
Alter command.
With the help of alter, right? You want to change the column name permanently into the table, right? You can use alter table, right? Rename column, right? Using alter table, using DDL, you can able to do, right? But I don't want in the DDL, right? This result, whoever is, I'm maintaining the student table, my downstream, right? Like in our data warehouse setup, like we are receiving as a feed, right? CSV file or JSON file, something we are receiving, right? Like that, like my downstream is going to query. They are saying like, first name I don't want. You give us a column as a name, not first name, right? So I want to only for them I'm going to change. How, right? In the select, right? That is alias as name, right? Now you can see SID as it is I'm taking, but first name, instead of first name, the column name, it is saying name, right? Not S name. It is saying name, right? This is alias we are setting, right? We call as alias. How we can say? You can say with the as keyword, right? Yeah, first name as name, SID as a student ID. Okay, SID as the student underscore ID. Now you can see I'm running the statement, student ID name. You all with me, right? What is us? How to set up the alias? You are getting it, right? This is the alias we are setting. Single column or multiple column, or you can do the alias also. Okay. So any other question? You are able to follow, right? Simple, very simple. But we are going to use again and again, right? Multiple places we are going to use.
But I have a question here. So, can we use both to call this column, or only one we have to use? Like only SID only used to call the record?
Where you are saying?
Like, oh yeah, like you have changed the name to student underscore ID, right? So
I'm
if I have
I'm not
to
changing permanently, only for this result. The result set you are changing.
yeah, okay.
SID is your column name. First name is your
Okay.
column name, right?
Okay.
You want to change permanently, right? You have to go to the alter, right? Last
No,
week
no.
we did,
I
right?
mean, after changing this, if I have to call this
Yeah.
column name, whether
You
I can use both or only SID I should use.
okay? So after the semicolon, right? That's all, right? Your part is over. After the
Okay.
semicolon, the result is over. Maybe if you are playing with some subquery, something and all, right? A single statement if you are doing, right? Subquery we are going to see there, like you can use this column only. This is your column name, not SID,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But if you are after semicolon, SID is your column name, first name is your column name, right? Your query is done, right? Only for the runtime, only the runtime for the result set you are changing the name. You're getting right. So same query if I'm
Yeah, I
running
got
here,
this.
right?
Thank you.
So let me copy this one. Let me put again, right? We are not changing permanently to our table, right? Only the execution of this query only. But why am I'm not answering like, you have to use, this column and all, right? Why am not telling, right? Maybe sometime you are writing a subquery, right? We are going to extract the select, right? Some complex select we are going to write. When you are selecting from this result, right? Your column name is student underscore ID name. But once you are coming out of the semicolon, right? The query is done. Then like your SID first name is the column name. So here this one. Okay. If you are referring your student ID, it will not accept. It will throw error, right? The alias what you are setting, right? It is saying student underscore ID is not my column. Like that you are getting an error, right? The error you can able to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Got
Unknown
this.
column student ID in the table. Since your table contains only SID, right? You want this behavior, like I mentioned, right? Alter query you have to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So maybe some people will write a syntax instead of us. still it will work. What I did, guys, here? Yes, what I
Removed
did?
as.
You
I
didn't
removed
use
as.
All right. If you're not giving also, this guy will work. Okay, no issues, right? It is a column. You are doing it, but the right syntax, you have to use as, or else, like, I mean, it will not throw any error and all. This is also fine only. SID, you are giving student ID. First name, you are giving as a name. You are giving a column name as name. Column name is a student ID. Some people will write this way, right? Just for understanding, what you mentioned, like, Alice and all, we have to set with the as keyword, but this guy is not writing any as keyword, but still it is working, right? It will work. Okay, some people will write the query something similar to. Okay, like that, you can able to, in the runtime, you can able to rename the column when it is required, right? This column rename and all, when you are doing some changes in the value, original value. Okay, maybe one function I am using here, some built-in function, not all. We are going to the built-in functions we are going to see later. I want to convert into uppercase the name, right? The name column I'm going to convert into uppercase, right? Student ID, SID as it is I'm using. First name we have here, but I want to convert into uppercase. Upper of first name. Now where this alias name is required, right? Not only changing the column name. Now you can see what this guy is doing. It is fine. Result wise fine. SID column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Chris name, which is changed to uppercase, all uppercase. Just for understanding, I'm saying. But look at the column name. What happened to the column name, guys? What it is returning? What is the column name here?
upper
Upper
first
of first
name.
name.
Upper of first name, right? This is looks correct.
No.
It's not
No.
right. So you can say as the name of the employee name or employee name, whatever it is, right? You can put a keyword as name. Now we can run the query, uppercase column. You are any changes if you are making a column, right? Like that will be maybe I'm writing a multiple functions and all here, lower of, upper of, right? Something and all I'm doing. Okay. Now without alias name, if you are doing right, lower, upper and all leave it. Okay. But see here, column name, upper of, lower of, something and all is saying, right? I didn't like, I did some transformation. That transformation, you don't put as a same name, right? You can say which is the employee name or name as it is, right? Like that you can say. I'm converting ever to a lowercase, right? Just for understanding, leave the lower and all for now. Upper meaning, right? Everything I'm converting into a case. Upper is a built-in function. Okay, it will convert into uppercase letter. So I'm converting into a uppercase letter. Then I'm putting as a name here. Any question, guys? This is the first part in the select query. Very simple, right? So single column, multiple column, all columns with alias, right? Back to someone is asking question, right? So this column name and all where I have to use, right? Suppose same query, right? Same query I am using here, select star from. Okay, this is a subquery, right? What is subquery? It is like tricky to understand, but fine. This is like the whole query. Line number 236 to 238. This is like a sum of like, it's not easy to understand. Maybe you can consider somehow like, it is a complex query we are discussing, right? But we are going to see subquery later. But here I am saying star meaning. This star refers what, guys?
All the fields
All
in
the-
all
the
the
line number
records.
All the
237.
columns.
All the
Line number
columns.
237.
All the columns from the result of this table, right? This, I mean, the outer select star from, this is your table. Okay, maybe I'm setting as a new table. Okay, from this new table only this guy is taking the new table I am deriving in runtime. So the order of execution, how it will do, right? First it will execute this query. The result it will keep it in the memory. From the memory you are querying, right? The star meaning all the columns only, right? It is not going to change, but all the column, what all the column, right? SID and name, right? This is what someone is asking, right? Regarding the alias name, right? So now if I'm running the query, right, it is going to say same result, no change. But which name you have to use here, right? You have to use SID, comma, name, right? If you are giving a first name here, this guy will not understand. I don't have a column called first name, right? Now I'm selecting the column SID and name, and it is returning the result, right? If I put a first name here instead of name, this guy will not understand what is first name, right? It will throw error. First name is not in my list, right? This is what someone asked, right? First name not in the field list. Like that, you will get the error. Why we are getting error, right? This query you are running on the result of the inner query. First, it will execute the inner query. That result you are querying. Star meaning here SID and name, not first name. It will not go to your table, right? The result of this query, first it will execute this query. That result in the memory it is keeping in the name of new table, right? The new table, right? New table meaning it is a table alias I am saying, right? I'm keeping the result in this name. Then from here I am querying. So columns in the new table, which is SID and name only, not first name. You guys are getting it right? You are asking, right? Like, the name and all where I have to use, right? In the subquery, it will work. After semicolon, that's all. You don't have a new table, you don't have a name column. It is done. Okay, but leave the subquery, we are going to see, right? This is like you can consider like a kind of a tricky part, right? Like to understand, right? We will discuss more. Since you guys put a question, right? I'm writing this query, but for now you can ignore. Okay, I'm using a simple query only for subquery also, but we are going to, like, if you take any project, right? If you are into the current, if you are playing a role of current Spark developer, or like if you are into the current project, right? If you take any existing code, right? A page full of query, you can able to see. All are like a single query sometimes, right? People will write, whoever is coming from database background, right? They will write a multiple query, something like that, right? But we'll break and we'll see. But you all will write a similar kind of queries later. Okay, but here what I'm saying, this first it will execute this query, the output will be keep it in the memory, and from there you are querying. So here columns are SID and name only, not first name. Okay, so that is this is kind of a subquery I'm saying. Okay, when it comes to the subquery, there are a lot of things we have. Subquery, correlated subquery, right? Like what is correlated subquery, non-correlated subquery, and all we are going to discuss later. Okay, for now leave it. So I'm picking the column or selecting all the columns. Anything is fine, guys. Now what this will do, guys? Maybe your better understanding. Select one from student. What this will do, guys?
It will give
First
one for all
column.
the rows.
Only the first row.
First column.
No, it will give one.
Bro, the first record.
Okay.
It will give one as a value for how many total rows we have.
Yeah, right. It is giving a one as the value, right? Not first row, not first column, nothing, guys. This one is the value. That's all. One is the value, right? The one is the value. And what is the column name? What is the column name here?
It will be one.
Exactly, right? It will be a one only, right? If you're running this query, one is the column name and it is returning 500 records. Since the table have 500 record, 500 rows it will return. All 500 rows, you will have a column name as one, value as one, right? You guys can see. One is the column name, one is the value, and it is returning all 500 records. All are one. You are hard coding, basically. You're getting it right? What I'm saying? You are hard coding. Now, where it will useful, right? Sometimes you want to hard code something. Okay, I'm going to say SID column, comma, first. One minute, guys, give a minute. First name, comma, last name, first name, last name, SID, right? The current date function, you remember last week we discussed, right? I'm using a current date here as, right, DT. Maybe someone explain what it will do.
It'll apply the current date to all the fields. I mean,
Right,
to
like
all the rows.
I hard code one, right? I hard code one. Instead of hard coding, I'm calling the current date. Current date will give the date. the date will be added in the name of column called DT, not in the original table, only the result, right? You are not doing any DML here. DQL meaning you are viewing. DQL meaning what? Data query language. You are viewing. This is like nothing to do with the insert. It will not change your tables, right? Like it is just your for your viewing, right? Here I'm picking the record SID first name last name, picking the columns. Along with this column, I am selecting the current date. Current date is the function, right? Maybe I will run the current date here separately. Select current date, right? Current date if I'm executing, right? It will execute and return the current date in the date format, YYY-MMDD format, right? So what I'm saying, this function I'm invoking here, and like you add this current date to all the rows, not permanently, right? In the result set, right? Select meaning you are viewing only, right? So I'm executing this statement. SID first name, last name, DT is the column name. Since alias I am setting, DT is the column name. Value to the DT by calling the current date, that value will be all will be 2026-0405. Nice. You are able to understand this query, right? Here I'm adding a column, right? Here we are adding a column, not permanently, right? Value to the column, I'm calling some function. How I did upper right. Similar way, I'm calling a current date. Current date meaning it is taking the current date. It is returning a current date. Return the current date for all 500 records. It is returning. Okay. Now maybe we will extend further. Select part. We'll proceed select part later. But now I want maybe a task. Okay. So read all employee, right? Employee is the table, right? Student, sorry. Read all student and result, right? Result load into a new table called student underscore new. Everything you can load it into the student underscore new. Okay, unlike a read all student, but like pick the columns, right? Pick the columns SID as it is. Okay, unlike a yes name, you have to create a column called yes name. Unlike a SID yes name, do we have a city column? Department, right? We have department, not city. Department. Then, okay, SID yes name department. What else? Unlike a load underscore date when the data is loaded. The data also I need. Okay, these are all the columns you have to pick. Here, column mappings I'm providing like in Excel, right? This is actual task case. Okay, so the columns whatever we the columns mapping, right? SID direct mapping SID. Okay, unlike a yes name, we don't have a yes name column in the source table, right? Yes name, which is nothing but first name column. First name direct mapping of first name is a yes name. Okay, unlike a department, same, no change. Load date, we don't have a column called load date in the database. You call the current date, take the current date, right? Like that. Someone is giving a requirement, right? Here the main task, except loading into the new table, right? Everything you guys know. Whatever I did earlier, right? The same thing only I'm writing here, right? But I'm giving as a task. Okay, maybe you can say you are tasked to your task, right? This is a data engineering task, you can say, simple data engineering. Here, except creating a new table, right? Remaining things and all you all know. Creating a new table also you know. You need to connect both select query and your table you have to, right? But leave the new table creation. Okay, let's pick these columns first. SID, S name, department, load date. What you have to do, guys? Maybe complete this part. Help me to complete that part. Then we will load the data to the table. What you have to do?
Select
Select
SID.
right? Usually one more thing, guys, right? When you are using the SQL keywords and all, right? You can use uppercase. I mean, that is not a rule, right? Usually people will write this way as a like a standard you can follow. Any keyword you are writing, you can use uppercase, right? That is not a rule, first of all. I'm saying for your visibility, you can use uppercase. Select from table name student, right? No filter so far since where class we didn't discuss. So I'm going to load everything, right? Now, maybe for completing the syntax, I put a star here, right? Let's replace the star. What and all we have to do? SID, direct mapping, right? No change. What is the next thing, guys?
Yes,
First
name
name.
as
Name
yes,
as
name as first name.
First name
First
as
name. Yes,
not
name.
you are giving a reverse way, right? First name as S name, right? Okay, that is done. What else?
I think we have to
Department
keep
direct
the
mapping.
comma only, right? Instead of full stop.
Where? Okay,
After
okay.
SID.
Inside
SID.
Yeah,
first name also spelling need to correct it.
okay, guys, that is fine, right? This is first name. So SID first name, S name, department. Here column rearrangement. You guys can see department is the last column. I'm adding in the beginning, right? Department. Then what I'm doing? You need a load
Current
date.
date.
Current date.
Load date.
Yeah.
Current date. Come on. Current date
As load date.
as load underscore date. That's all, guys. Right? Your table is ready. Right? I mean, the main part you completed. This is the data transformation. Right? You are doing a transforming the data. Right? Simple transformation you are doing. We discussed data munging, cleaning, cleansing, something and all, right? This is part of the transformation only. So SID, S name, department. You guys can see SID, S name, department, load date, and you have all 500 records. Now, the result I don't want to display here. I want to load it into a new table, right? This is a like in SQL or in data engineering, we called this as a, I mean, you want to create a table and you want to load, right? This table, the task, what task we are doing? Read all student records with this column mapping, follow the column mappings and all, right? The result loaded into a new table, I'm saying. You have to create a new table, right? The table is not exist. Student underscore new is not exist. And you don't need to create a table separately and load the data separately. If you want, you can do that also, but we have option. The option is CTAS. What is CTAS? It is a big word, guys. Okay. CTAS is nothing but create table as select. Create table as select. This is a CTAS query what we have. Right? Create a table as select. That a select part I completed already. Now we are going to create the table, right? If I execute this statement, you all know what is going to happen, right? It is going to return all the 500 records with the SID, first name as a name, sorry, S name, department, current date as a load date. You are getting a result, right? Now I don't want to display here. I want to put it into a table, right? The result you load it into another table. The table is not exist, you create it. So now we are applying a CTAS query. We are writing a CTAS query, DDL, DML, right? Something and all we have, right? We don't have any separate something called CTAS. The logic, whatever we are writing is a CTAS, right? It is more of DQL plus a DDL you are doing in one shot. How, right? I'm going to write a query, create, right? Maybe keyword and all you can put a uppercase, create table, right? Create table. What is the table name, guys? Student
New. Underscore
new, right? Student underscore new as CTAS. That's all. I'm mentioning something called CTAS, right? CTAS is nothing but create table as select. Create the table as this select query. Okay. First, before running the statement, let me put a describe statement. You all know how to view the table structure, right? Describe this table. You will get the error, right? You'll get the error since the table is not there, right? You are getting the error. Unknown column. What happened? Why unknown column it is saying? Okay, you can see the table. I mean, the table student underscore new does not exist. That is error. I mean, earlier I'm seeing some other error. Okay, okay, guys. Okay, so you can see here it is saying like, maybe I will clear the logs. Let me run it again. Right? It is saying the table does not exist. That is the error you are getting, right? Even with the select query also, we'll get the same. Select star from student underscore new. Right? We had to complete the select part, guys, but this is the thing in real time also you'll use CTAS. Okay. So I'm running this one, table not error, table not found error you are getting. Now I'm going to run this query. Now create table student underscore new as from the select query. The output of like the meaning of this one, right? The output of the select right? Based on this structure, you create a new table and load also. You do the DDL plus DML plus DQL. All three I'm completing here in one shot. Okay, so I'm executing the statement. It is done. 500 rows affected, right? Now, before selecting the table, you can describe the table. What are the columns? What are the columns we are expecting, guys?
SID, name, department, load date.
SID first, SName, sorry, SID, SName, department, load date, right? SID, integer, SName, varchar, department, varchar, current date. What is the format? You can see. See, it is creating a table. Earlier you are getting an error. Now it is showing a table. SID, SName, department, load date. Then like you are running a query and you can see all 500 records, right? SID, SName, department, load date. Even you can put show tables or whatever it is, right? It is a new table you created. This is a C task query, create table and like a, create table as select. That is a C task. That is a big task, guys. Okay. So here we are writing a simple select, but maybe the complexity will be in the select side only, not in the C task side, right? You are creating a table similar to this, the result of this. So what you are doing here, C task, what it is doing, you are creating a table from a select query with the data, right? Basically, I'm doing a DDL, DML, TQL also. You guys can agree. All three we are completing here in one query. Select query is the DQL. Creating a table is the DDL. Inserting the data is the DML, right? It is not a regular insert, not one by one. The bulk insert we did here, right? Using the CTAS query. Okay. Any question?
Yeah, I have a question. It's like a CTAS is a kind of a view, what we're doing.
It's a permanent table. You are creating a table only.
So it's not a view.
It is not a view. It is a table. It is a table only. A permanent table you are creating. It is not a view. See, the syntax itself, what you're saying, create table. I'm not mentioning the column name and all. I'm saying pick the column from this select, right? And there is no relation between student new and student once it is completed, right? Student is a separate table. Student underscore new is a separate table. View meaning it's a stored query, right? Not the data. Student new is a brand new table you are creating with the data. Here, the structure I'm not giving, the structure I'm giving in the select query. Follow the select query. Based on the structure, you can create it and load all the data.
Okay.
Got it, right? It is a table only. You are creating a table only.
So you are loading the data from the student table, right?
Correct. Loading the data from student and like which data I'm loading, right? This part, right? Not everything. SID, name, SName, load date, department, load date. This is the data we are loading. If you're running this query, right? This part of the query, whatever it is returning, right? This result only we are loading. Right? From the student table only I'm loading, not as it is. I'm doing some changes. First name to SName I'm changing. Load date is the one column newly I'm adding, right? This result I'm loading into the table. Okay. The task is nothing, guys. The output of the select query, you want to put it in a table. That is a CTAS. Output of your select query, you want to put it into a table, right? That is a CTAS. That's all.
So here we can't alter the constraints.
Yes, constraints you cannot, right? You cannot able to add a constraints and all. Right? It will not follow constraints here. Yeah. Yes. Any questions?
Yes. In select query, you have temporarily added the one column from current date. Okay. So if you using C task, you are creating new table. So
correct.
it's permanently it's added on current date.
Yes. Permanently. We are creating a current date with the column name as load date here, right? Yes. Current date is a function we are calling. Load date is a column name. So this table input is this. Here it is a column only. Load date is a column which will be added in the student new. Okay. So describe, you can see load date is the column it is added. It's a permanent column in the student underscore new. Right? See, basically what we are doing, right? The output of the select query, right? We are loading into the table. That's all. So whatever the select is returning, right? That schema, that data, we are loading into the table.
Okay.
It will not go to this table and check anything. right? And someone is asking about constraints and all, right? It is not keeping your constraints. So if you want the constraints also, right? You have to create the table separately and load it. That is the next part we are going to see. Right here, like I'm going the output of the select query, and we are loading into the table, right? The table itself we are creating. So you want to put some more customization, right? Separately you create the table and load it. The output of the select, you can load it. That is the insert select we are going to see next.
After creating this student new, we can able to add some constraints and all.
All you can do. Alter. I mean, it is a table only, right? All the table properties will support. You can able to add a new column, dropping a column, changing something, right? Constraints if you want to add.
This one will support for other DB also, or only in MySQL? This one.
CTAS is a concept, right? Which will be support all databases, and we are going to use heavily as part of our regular work. I'm saying not only learning, right? Regular work also will do CTAS query. If someone is asking you to take a table backup, how you can do the backup, guys? Simple. Take the backup of table. Create table as select star from table. You're getting right what I'm saying? EMP table what we have, right? So just one real usage I'm saying. We have multiple ways to do this, but like select star from EMP what I have, right? I'm going to drop this table. The real usage, right? Here you can see the EMP table, right? EMP table, we have 13 records, right? 13 records. Someone is saying, take the table backup, right? So how to take the table backup? You can write a CTAS query, right? Why alter is coming?
There is another query like select star into table name from.
Yep. I'm coming. One thing, right? Create table, EMP underscore backup, right? BKP, I'm giving us a name. Backup table I'm creating, right? As select star from EMP, right? This is a CTAS query. You guys can agree? First thing before executing it is a CTAS query. Create table as select, right? The entire table I'm backing up into the EMP underscore backup. Okay, it is done. Okay, now you can query the table. Similar to your EMP table, this table also created with all 13 records. Column names are same. Okay, column names are same. Okay, column names are same. I'm selecting from EMP backup. Everything is done, right? You want to describe this EMP backup. You want to see the constraints are it is copied or not. Okay, EMP backup. Okay, some of the constraints, right? Your default constraints is copied. Okay, that is also it is done. But if you put like something, some calculation and all, right, your constraints will not copied, right? So if it's a direct column, it is copying. But you want to take more control, right? You can create the table separately and you can handle it. You got it, right?
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
So in future, like whatever the update or any modification is happening in the employee table, it will also happen in the employee backup, or it will be
nothing. That is why I'm saying, right? After this statement, both are two different tables. Nothing, no relation.
Okay.
Okay, now no relation between this EMP and EMP backup. This is like, your task is the output of the select. I'm not telling the table also, which table it is coming from, right? The output of the select query you are loading into the table, right? Whether the select query result coming from one table or joining with the 10 tables, it doesn't matter, right? So far we had to go to the join. So single table I'm connecting, but you can put this way. Output of the select query you are putting into the table. That is a CTAS. The output is coming from single table or multiple table, right? Or even not a table, you are hard coding some data, anything is fine. So they are getting right. So now no relation between your table to table. Your output of the select query you are loading. That's all. Once it is load is done, that's all. It is a brand new table, separate table. Okay, this is CTAS, guys. Leave the constraint part here for, Surendra, someone is asking the constraint, right? You can see EMP backup is copying the constraint also for salary. The constraint, I put a default value. Okay. And like so far we primary key and all, we didn't put so maybe later we'll discuss. But CTAS, what you guys are getting it right. I want to, this is one more use case. I'm using a backup, right? I'm creating a backup table. Now I can able to remove the EMP table, right? Using the drop statement, right? That you can able to do. One more thing, guys. I want to create a table structure alone. Create a table, right? Create a table called EMP underscore all from EMP table, right? Similar to EMP table. Similar to EMP. Okay, similar to EMP, I want to create. I don't need a data. No need of data. Right? Basically, I want to create another table. The structure I want to use.
Where 1 equal to 2. Select star
Yeah.
from table.
Yeah, where 1 equal to 2 meaning what?
There's always
Means that
clause. The data won't
Right?
be
You
copied.
put some, yeah, you put
list
some false
structure.
condition, right? You put some false condition. So basically what you are doing, same CETAS query only, right? Same CETAS query only. Okay. Same CETAS query where EMP, where 1 equal to 2, someone is mentioning, right? You put a one false condition, whether 1 equal to 2, whether it is written true or false.
False.
It is always false. So if it is false, meaning what this LS query will return?
It won't return any data.
Right? But it is returning what?
Structure of the table.
Structure, right? So I'm taking the structure alone, then I'm creating a table, EMP underscore all, right? Now you can see this is also a CETAS query only, but this time without data you are loading. Okay, which meaning what? Table got created, right? But without any data. Why without data? Select query. It is also doing with the select query only. Select query is returning 0 record. So EMP all, you can see table got created. Sometimes we will use, you want to create a table, right? Without any data. The skeleton of the table, the structure of the data I need it. Maybe I'm going to write from my program. I don't want to put it into the main table. I want to create some staging table. The staging table, I need to follow the similar to our main table. I want to create a table. You don't need to worry about the create table syntax and all, right? From the table, you can create it by you can put some false condition here, right? 1 equal to 2 or false directly you can give, or one more option also we have. Okay. You want to copy all the constraints and everything, right? Instead of CETAS, we have, you want to create a table alone, right? We have some keyword called like. Table like you can able to create, but that I will show you later. Any question about CETAS? Right? The
I
task
have
is
a
very simple.
doubt.
Yeah.
Like before you have mentioned, right? Using CETAS, we have updated the column current date. Suppose I am creating a table using CETAS today. Tomorrow I'm just running only the select command.
Okay.
So what the date command? What the date
Data
what
you
is the
loaded.
output?
Data you loaded already, right? It is
So the today's date only.
correct.
It will show only the April 5, right? It will not show the April 6th.
Yes.
Suppose if I am running the select command tomorrow.
Exactly. Yes. Not tomorrow date. It will. You are preserving the data. That's all. Data is loaded already. So load date meaning January 1st you load the data, meaning January 1st is loaded, right? Today if you are querying January 1st only it will show. That's what you're asking, right? So nothing with your current date. Current date is done.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question, guys? With this so far, CETAS, right? This is a big task, guys. CETAS is like, heavily used. Like I mentioned, right? We will use even in our learning also multiple places we are going to use. Okay. Now I'm asking CETAS is whether it is a DDL or DML, guys, or DQL.
All the three, DDL,
all
DML.
the three, right? All the three we are combining, right? Select is the DQL. There is you are creating a table DML. You are inserting also. You are loading. Basically, instead of saying insert, you can say load. Bulk data you are loading, right? So that is a DML, right? So DQL, DML, DDL, all three you are doing with the CETAS.
What you will actually this CETAS, why we are using in the sense like to create the duplicate table, right? And we are renaming it.
Not only duplicate table, right? The output of the select query you want to put here. The output maybe it is following the same table structure, or like you are adding a new column on changing. In a real use case, right? Like you have a employee table, you have a sales report table, right? You have a maybe what you can say a customer table. I want to combine both customer, sales, employee. I'm joining all three in a one table. I'm creating a single select query where I have the employee details, product details, sales details also, right? Now the result I want to put it in a table. You are getting right. So You can connect all the tables and
So,
you can able to put it here.
in the case like after create table where you are giving that employee all, right? For example, this table name is employee all. Okay. Command other two table we can mention it, and we can using
That is
join
a
query
join,
we
right?
can
Yes.
by
Yes.
by using join query we can get column names from all the three table, huh?
Whichever column you want, right? I mean, when you are doing the join, you are not going to pick all the columns, right? Only whichever data you need, right? Those details you are selecting, the output you are loading. So basically, what we are achieving with the CTAS, right? The output of the select you are loading into the table. We are not duplicating. Like whatever the format you want the output, right? You can form your select query. That output you are dumping into the table.
Okay.
Got it, right? See, here we are creating a backup table for backup purpose I am doing, right? My purpose is taking the backup. My purpose is creating only structure, right? My purpose is getting the output into the table. This table I am giving to someone who is going to access the table.
Okay, can you show me one example here with all the three tables and with join query?
That is join. Join I had to go, right? We'll discuss next
yes.
week.
Okay.
Next week, definitely we are going. I mean, join is important. We are going to see.
Mm.
But if you know the CTAS, right, we are going to use everywhere, right? You want to create a table backup, you want to create a structure, or you want to take some subset of data, something and all, right? Or you want to create a staging table. I have only main table. I want to create a staging table quickly, right? You don't need to follow the structure and you don't want to create it. Put 1 equal to 2. That's all. You are negating the condition. Your select query is returning empty result. From the empty, you are creating a table. That's all. Structure is ready. Right? Quickly you can able to create. So these are all the use cases, whatever I'm mentioning, right? This is a real use cases, guys. We will use, right? Whoever is already in the DB background, you all know, right? We will heavily use this and all. Okay, we have multiple options also, but CTAS is one thing we will use. Okay, so maybe one more concept, guys. We are reaching the time, but fine, right? One more concept we will cover and we'll go. Okay, select query, right? We are in the DQ learning, right? Select multiple column, alias and all we discussed. Maybe we'll put a filter also, right? Filter meaning what, guys? What is filter?
Where condition.
Filtering the data.
Right?
Where condition.
Yeah. Where condition. Filter meaning only the required data, right? You are filtering. Okay, filter meaning it is a where, right? A where condition. I don't need all. I need a specific data. Column level filter already you put, right? Instead of star, you put only selected column, right? Now like row level filter meaning here row level, right? We are going to apply not all 500 row level. I'm going to say, okay, so select star from student, right? What this query will do?
It will select all the field names from the table student.
All the field names and all the records. It is returning all the records, right?
Both structure and records.
Yep. All records and all fields. That is what it is doing, right? Maybe I will run this query also. Okay. Now we have 500 record it is returning, right? You can see the result. 500 record it is returning. Okay. I don't need all the 500. I'm going to apply a filter. What is a filter, right? Department is civil, right? I need a civil data alone, right? I need only department civil.
Where department equal to civil.
Where department column name equal to your filter condition, right? This equal to filter you all know, right? In Python, equal to meaning what, guys? What?
Assignment operator.
Python assignment, right? I'm
Double
applying
equal
a filter here.
Given.
Yeah, comparison operator, right? Here it is equal to meaning comparison, not double equal to, single equal to only, right? Here it is not assignment operator, right? Assignment operator in Python single equal to, right? Here maybe you can say double equal to is nothing but equal to here. Okay, in SQL single equal, I'm comparing department equal to civil. I'm picking only department civil data here. Okay, earlier it is returning 500 record, right? Now you can see 37 record only. 37 record belongs to civil. The result you can see only 37 record. Okay, all are from civil department. This is the filter, simple filter I'm applying. You guys can put 1 equal to 2, right? That is also filter only. Where is the keyword? Okay, maybe select from where. These are all the keyword, blue color. It is indicating blue color, right? All are keyword. Where is the keyword? Column name equal to value you have to give. Department equal to civil, right? Department equal to army. I'm saying army, right? Any student which is coming from army department, right? I don't have any data, just I'm selecting for your reference. Okay. So I'm running this one, it is returning empty result. Since like, we don't have department called army. Yes, you all with me, right? So now what I need, right? Just this is a filter condition. And like when it comes to the filter condition, right? All your relational, conditional operator, comparison operator, right? Logical operator, whatever we learned in Python, you can apply here, right? Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. Okay. And like a multiple condition, you can able to connect with the and or, right? Whatever we learn in Python, you can put it under the where, right? After where. Okay. Department equal to civil. Okay. Multiple condition, maybe one more condition I will write. Department equal to civil and what is the column name? SID. SID is greater than 400. What it will do, guys?
It has to satisfy both the conditions. So
both the condition and I am using, right? This is a comparison operator. This is a logical operator, right? Two condition here. This is also true. This is also true. Since we are using and, if both are satisfying, then only that record it will return. Earlier you are getting civil department 37 record. I put a further filter. Okay. Now we have only 4 record, right? All SID you can see 407, 418, 436, 434. All are more than 400 and all belongs to civil. This two condition it is satisfying. Right, this is the filter. Where filter meaning where I'm not, the table contains 500 record and like department civil contains 34 record and other condition SID 400, any ID more than 400 record I am picking, that is only 4 record. All 3 condition we are applying here, right? It is satisfying this one as well as this one, both it is satisfying, right? Out of this 500 record, 4 records which is satisfying department from civil with the ID of SID 400, right? Maybe 4000 if you could put here, we have only 500 record. We don't have an ID called 4000, right? Our max ID is 400 only. What will happen, guys, if I run this query?
Not return anything.
Null records. You will not
It is
get
returning empty, right? Empty, right? Since like, this condition is failing. 34 record we have civil, but this condition is failing since it is a and condition I put, right? So 400, right? I will change it again. This is the output we are getting 4 record, right? Now maybe, right? You load all civil data into a, you guys are asking, right? Where to will use CETAs and all, right? Load all civil data into a table student civil, right? I want the civil data alone. Like that, like task they are asking. Student underscore civil. How we can able to achieve?
The same query, what you have given above. We can
not
we can give
maybe the 400 I'm not applying, right? Only civil, right?
Yes.
So
okay.
Remove the 400 condition here. Same query. On
Create
top of that, create table
student civil.
Right, student underscore civil. Someone is coming from the civil department, right? They want to access the data, civil department data alone. I'm not giving the original access to the table. I put it into this table, then I'm giving to him. Okay, you can do whatever you want, right? Like that. I mean, on use case I'm saying, right? Since the civil data alone, I'm putting into the separate table. You guys can do anything with the civil data. Like that I'm giving, right? Now I'm running the query. It is completed. Okay. If you go to this civil table, you have only civil department data alone, right? And like I put a star here, all the columns. Okay, you can see it is returning 37 record, all are civil. And like it is a new table, right? You can see how I'm saying it is a new table. Show tables. I'm running a show tables command, right? How many tables? We started with only one table called EMP. Now how many tables we have? EMP we have, EMP all we have, student we have, student civil we have, student new we have, EMP backup we have, around 6 tables we have, right? using CTAS. How to create the table using CTAS also you can able to create. Okay, we'll stop here, guys. Any question? And next week, right? Don't miss it, guys. We are going to discuss more about select, right? Straight away the select remaining things what we have with the select, right? And like you guys are asking about join and all, right? All we are going to see. I mean, filter, we are in the filter, right? Some more important things like, like how the operators and all. Operators and all already you are aware, right? Like only in SQL, how we can able to use, I'm going to say, like something like in between, what is this thing, aggregation, some aggregation functions, join, right? The analytical function, just I will give a high level picture and we'll discuss in our Spark learning. Okay, but a join, like some aggregations, some built-in functions, case statements, these are all the things we will discuss first. Okay. So, any question so far? Okay, so just like you guys can just search it in Google and like look at the CTAS query today, like whoever is coming from non-DB background, I'm saying, right? You guys can check like the usage of CTAS, right? CTAS in SQL. So just search for SQL, right? And then like you can do multiple use cases and all, guys. Okay, CTAS is nothing but create table as select in SQL command used to create a new table and populate with the data from select statement in a single operation. Unlike standard create table followed by insert, CTAS automatically define the table schema based on the query result, right? You can able to see when to go for something and all. Common use cases, data backups, whatever we did, right? Data backups, ETL and ELT processing, a temporary table and all, staging table and all we are creating. All we covered today. You can see the views, leave it, right? Schema modification, recreate the table with the different indexing, distribution keys and all, right? Like that, like, multiple use cases. Someone asked a question, right? I think Surender, no constraints. CTAS typically does not copy the primary key foreign keys. We didn't discuss the key, but I answered you, right? So storage cost, since duplicating the data, right? It may be increasing the cost and all, right? Like that, like, you can extend this learning, guys. Okay, just for understanding. CTAS is why I'm covering CTAS, right? That is important. CTAS is important. So for whatever we learn, right? Along with the basics, CTAS is important. And CTAS is the one which we will use heavily in our regular work. Okay, so this script I will upload today, right? All the scripts I will upload it today and I will confirm you guys just to practice. Okay, and like the table create script also, I populated with some 500 record, right? Just I get it from the Google and all, but I'll share the script also so that you have 500 records to play.
Hello.
Hey, yeah.
I have one question actually. Instead of the CTAS, okay, while for structure itself, we are going for CTAS. Otherwise, I already shared in the chat now. That query also, is it possible to take the backup itself?
Select star from EMP, backup from EMP. This query, no.
It's also possible in MySQL, right?
This is not a standard syntax. Select star from EMP, backup from EMP. Instead of from, you have like a keyword. Okay. So create table EMP backup like EMP as we have. Okay. But from keyword, I don't think it is supporting.
Okay.
I mean, this is not a standard keyword, first of all, but in MySQL, maybe I will, since you pinged, right, I will check. Okay. So you are giving something, right? Select star from EMP backup from EMP. It won't work. Undeclared variable EMP backup. Some error it is showing, right? It won't work. It is not a syntax. Okay. But we are going to see, right? Like earlier I mentioned here, right? Somewhere. Right? Not only CTAS I covered. Okay. Something called insert select, right? Okay. Somewhere I mentioned here, but we'll discuss later. Okay. So similar to CTAS, right? Maybe I will extend this question. We create the table separately and the output of the select query, I want to put it into the table. We inserted we know we have the values, we did the insert. Multiple rows we inserted, or like we are picking the column we inserted. That and all we did. And what we did, right? We are creating the table and we are loading in a single statement. Now I have a table separately. I have my select query separately. The output of the select query I want to insert into the table, existing table, right? I don't want to create a table. I have a table already, right? That is the IS query, insert select query, right? That we will discuss next week. IS query, meaning not is, insert select, which meaning table is when to go for insert select, right? Table is already there, right? You are not going to create it, right? The output of the select query, you are going to load it into the table. That is the insert select statement, what we are going to see next week. Okay, this is straight away insert into the table, select query, that's all. But few nitty-gritty things we will understand in the next class, guys.
Are we going to learn about pivot as well? Advanced
These are
ones.
pivot, it's advanced, but we are going to learn, not with this session. Our, I mean, pivot and all you can learn in our regular Spark session itself.
Okay.
Okay, so pivot, the windowing function, analytical and windowing functions, what we have, right? These are all the things we will discuss in our regular class itself. There are some advanced queries, you can say, right? So
Yeah.
this is for foundation. We'll cover foundation here. Other things and all we will discuss with our regular class.
Okay.
Okay, so pivot and all, why we are going with regular session, right? Since like whoever is coming from DB background itself, people will get confused, right? With the pivot and all. So better will this is required for all. So like this is foundation, right? We'll skip here and we will learn there. Okay, next class, like we will discuss more about select, guys. Important things and all we discuss. Okay, so don't miss it. We'll we have time also, right? Before PySpark, we will complete this foundation. Okay. So any question, guys? Okay, thanks all for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Meet you guys in the regular class.
Thank you.
Thank you, Divya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.